water.
What?
Dre and Snoop hitting corners in the line.
What were you having, a smoothie?
Well, it was a blackberry margarita. What are you doing?
You know how long those take to make, you asshole?
Jose Aldo backed out.
I don't know.
He was going to fight
5
you,
minutes?
backed out.
You know how much time you waste with
said it
that
was due to a rib
bullshit?
injury. But he's been cleared to fight by a doctor.
Hey,
what do you think?
tip 1, know your drink, keep it simple.
the man is
Tip
running
2,
scared.
don't order water.
I cannot
Drinks
force a man
are
who is
water. That's
not
why they're
willing to
called
step in and fight. I
drinks.
cannot force him into the octagon to face me, but really I cannot
Tip
hold
3,
any grudge towards him
use
because I would
cash at
not
a
want
bar,
to face
okay?
me
All you're
either.
doing is delaying the tips for this guy by about a week. And tip 4, men don't order wine, all right? We're not at a fine Italian dinner.
McGregor has taught us many things. Taught us how to be a champion. Taught us how to come back from a loss. Taught us how to take a loss.
What are you gonna do?
Taught
Get
us
a
how to
pumpkin
adjust
ale or
his game
chocolate
plan and
stout?
fight.
It's
Taught us
rotten
how
barley and
to
oats, okay? We're here to
think
drink
smart.
rotten fruits and
And how to
vegetables,
predict these
not
teams.
some
But
fancy
I wanted to come in here and put on a
snack,
performance,
okay?
and I knew.
Order a normal
Featherweights
beer
don't
like
understand.
everybody else.
Until they get hit by me, it's a whole other ball game when they get hit by me.
I take my 2 fingers
So
and I
I
press it
said
down
I'd knock him out in
really
the
tight
first
like that.
round.
Guys,
and I knocked
this
him out
does
in the
not
first
work.
round.
3
You
people
can
in a
call
row
me
does not
Mystic
work.
Mac
Look,
because I predict these
Oh, then we
things.
went over there and it was super awesome.
Taught us how to
Poor
pronounce the
bastard's
number
craning
3
his
as
neck. What
tree.
happened?
I mean,
Then
the
you switch
Terminator
over to
Arnold
him, you
Schwarzenegger
go, oh, it's
called you the McGregor-nator, and then said you're one of the greatest athletes of all time. What did you think about that high praise from Arnold when he said that?
It's absolutely inspirational.
When
Arnold
there's 3
is an
guys,
absolute
2
legend. I
guys
mean,
sit,
I just look at
1
his
guy
story.
stands.
The man,
Now we create a
the man arrived
triangle
on
here.
American soil,
This works for a
butt naked.
conversation. And don't give me your
Couldn't speak
eye-rolling
one
shit,
word of
okay?
English.
You checked your email all day, you can stand for a second.
He actually
Whoa,
could
whoa,
speak
whoa,
3
whoa, whoa, whoa.
words of English.
Tip number
I'll
7,
be back.
if the game isn't
And he
on,
translated
there's
them
no
3
TV.
words, I'll be
Whoa,
back,
what are you doing?
into 8
Are you showing the
figures.
bartender pictures
And
of your
then
kids?
carried on
Jesus
an
Christ,
amazing
no one
career,
cares about your fucking
some
kids,
amazing
okay?
films. He
Tip
is an
number
absolute
8, no
legend, and to
kid
hear that.
Do you already have your 3-word saying that you're going to make millions off of, or another saying that you want to give out to the people right now?
I do have my 3 words that I am gonna make 8 figures off. It's a little Irish saying. It goes, Pogue Mahone.
And what's that mean?
It translates into kiss my
But here's another thing he's taught us. How to deal with racial accusations or a blatant race baiter. So before the first fight between Nate Diaz, who, if you're not familiar with Nate Diaz, he is a cholo. He's not a chola, which is Anna Kasparian, who's fucking better than you.
Yeah, I'm fucking better than you, okay? Much better than you. You are garbage.
Way fucking better than you.
Yeah, I'm fucking better
No,
than
he's a cholo. Now, for all you people living outside of the barrio, for all you people who are not down with the raza, let me explain something to you. When you come from East LA, you become a Dodger fan. You learn a couple things about quinceañera, ese. You learn about wearing a wife beater, homeboy. Straight up. And so what is a cholo, you might ask? Well, I will tell you. It is a noun, and it means a Latin American man with American Indian blood, a mestizo. Or here's the informal use, a lower class Mexican, especially in an urban area. Or another connotation means a member of a Mexican street gang. Now, Conor McGregor, in the press conference leading up to his first fight with Nate Diaz, referred to him as a cholo. Now I'm going to go out on a limb here and tell you that Nate Diaz was not offended by that. Nate Diaz is a cholo. According to any of those definitions, he is a Latin American man. His last name is Diaz. He's some sort of a mixed breed. He is a Mexican American. Lower class Mexican? What do you think? He was raised in Stockton, California in a shit neighborhood. Okay, now he has multiple millions of dollars because he got lucky enough to fight Conor McGregor. And well done, he beat him the first time, then he got his ass kicked the second time. So now he is nouveau riche. but he is still lower class. The man has a speaking vocabulary of about 10 words, and 3 of them are fuck. He's constantly hyping up the urban area from where he comes, which is Stockton, which is a place nobody out there should know of or ever needs to know about. Someplace in Northern California, okay? And is he a member of a Mexican street gang? He might as well be. He might have been in the past. If he didn't have mixed martial arts, he undoubtedly would be. He clearly has affiliations, and he rolls around and acts exactly like a gangster. Exactly like a low-class Mexican gangster. Wannabe? Perhaps. Here is him leaving the next press conference, throwing up a middle finger saying, fuck you and your whole team, and then chucking water bottles at Conor McGregor, who returned fire with water bottles of his own. I think he threw about 3 of them.
The way it all panned out, I've got 4 minutes to handle after this fight, but make no mistake, it will be a trilogy fight down the line. It won't be straight away, but we will do it 3 times, 100%.
Fuck your whole team like that.
You're holding. Crackhead SS. You'll do nothing. Crackhead SS. You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing.
Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you will do nothing. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you.
That's all right. Hey, Connor, don't throw those fucking... Yeah, Connor. That's a wrap.
So listen to Conor McGregor mock this man in the build-up to their first fight, and listen to the words he chose to use.
Do you like breaking the rules?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I am the rule. I'm the only rule in this game, so it doesn't matter weight divisions. Nate said he was ready to fight at any time, but no, he wasn't. He wasn't ready to fight at 155. He wasn't ready to fight at 165. So we give him 170, so... they go every other day. I'm happy to do it.
No way of real shit. I was just fucking, I said 155.
I don't give a fuck either. I like Nick's little bro, you know what I mean? How can you not like him? He's like a little cholo gangster from the hood. At the same time he coaches jiu-jitsu on a Sunday morning and goes on fight rides with the elderly. He makes gun signs with the right hand and animal balloons with the left hand. You're a credit to the community. Fuck you. Fuck you. He's alright, Nick. He's okay. Nick's so proud of you.
Fuck your bitch ass belt too.
Okay, so you heard that. That was their banter. Now the ironic thing here is, shortly after this happened, a reporter, I use that loosely, a person with a camera who sells their recordings to TMZ, approached Conor McGregor and had a few questions for him. One of them was a not-so-veiled accusation of racism. Now the way Conor reacted to that is almost the antithesis of how a guilt-riddled white liberal would react to that accusation. And I think the way he did it was spot on. The tone, the demeanor, everything about it was exactly the way you should react. Let's watch.
What's up, man? I'm from TMZ.
How are you,
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Hey, so you think your opponents are running scared? It's the second time in a row now that's happened.
What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, well, there you go. So do I.
You called him a cholo in there. That's kind of racially motivated. Did you mean to say it like that?
Mate, shut the fuck up and get away from me. You're remember that Jesus shit you brought up?
Yeah.
It's such a question, man. What?
But it's a question people want to know, man.
You're an idiot.
This guy's trying to start shit. He asked him a Jesus question. He said, who would win in a fight, you and Jesus? And Connor said he would win in the fight.
How would you versus Jesus in the octagon? How would he fare?
Me versus Jesus in the octagon.
Welcome to TMZ.
Me versus Jesus in the octagon. I tell you what, there's not a man alive that can beat me. But Jesus ain't alive, is he? So I don't f***ing know. Maybe he could come back from the dead. I don't know. I'd still whoop his ass.
But he knew it was trying to cause shit. So imagine that. Imagine the racially charged language of calling somebody a cholo. Nate Diaz is Mexican-American. Everybody knows that. Acknowledging that he is Mexican-American is not racially charged, which is another way of saying you're kind of racist for acknowledging he's Mexican. No, he was actually talking about his demeanor, his gangster-like behavior, and the low-class manner in which he carries himself. And yeah, he's going to mention he's Mexican. That's what he is. Do you think Nate Diaz is going to pretend not to be what he is? Connor doesn't. Connor doesn't come from a rich neighborhood. He comes from the slums. He comes from some bad neighborhoods in Dublin. And it gets bad in Dublin real quick. Lovely city. If you're rich, you're doing well there. You take a couple wrong turns, you're in trouble. I've been there many times. These people are not to be trifled with. Connor was not brought up in such a way that he's going to cower at an accusation like that. He's going to say exactly what he said. Mate, shut the fuck up and get away from me. You're an idiot. So keep that in mind. And surprise, surprise, motherfuckers, the king is back.
When you watch a guy like Anthony Pettis, Rafael Dos Anjos fight, these guys are brilliant technical mixed martial arts. You look at them and you think they're at your feet?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, surprise, surprise, motherfucker! The king is back!
It's the motherfucking D.O.double-G.
Dr. Dre, Lil Buff. You know I'm mobbing with the D.O.double-G. Straight off them killer streets of CPT. King up the beach, you ride to him in your fleet. Wood, Coupe de Ville, rolling on dubs. How you feel? Whoop-de-whoop. What? Dre and Snoop hitting corners in the lag. With Doc in the back, sipping on yak. Clipping all the amps, tipping through hood. Compton, Long Beach, Inglewood.
Yeah, I'm fucking better than you, okay? Much better than you. You are garbage.
Hello. So we have a story from the Daily News, sports, from Talcum X, the white black guy, who is a known asshole and degenerate race baiter. And the New York Daily News, that sounds a little bit official. I mean, it sounds like a publication. Here's what he says. Oh my God, he starts the headline with his last name, King. Here, the king is about to speak, everybody. And the headline is, the king is about to speak. King, colon, not even a semicolon. Full-blown colon. MMA star Conor McGregor is a bigot. But he's been given a free pass. Wow. Little Shawnee King has uncorked the B word. Not bitch, but bigot. And oh, if only words had more power. People are constantly in a scramble to find the nastiest word that's gonna turn the most heads and make people take notice. If you're playing Counter-Strike, you'll hear little boys from around the world say the most shocking of things. What they're really saying is, notice me, I want you guys to listen to me, and I want things to go my way. My thoughts are the best thoughts. I'm gonna say you're a bigot if you don't agree with me. So what are Sean King's thoughts? Well, he's a conflicted half-breed who hates white people. So, there's a prominent white guy in the world. Have you heard about him? His name's Conor McGregor. It was only a matter of time before this article was written. My fucking word, is this man a cunt. Let's read it. Conor McGregor, the Irish darling of mixed martial arts, is a bigot. Ooh, oh, it's blunt, King. Oh, King, it was said with such authority. Oh my God, you must be the expert on this issue. Oh. Dig a little bit and you'll see it for yourself. Is he entertaining? Yes. Is he a gifted self-promoter? Absolutely. Is he a skilled, hard-working fighter for the UFC? For sure. And because of his popularity, fans and brands alike are willing to look past his numerous reprehensible statements. Oh, Sean King has done some Google searches. Get ready. Yeah, all of your accomplishments, Connor, and all of your popularity should be eradicated because Shawnee King doesn't like some of the things you said. Yeah, let's outcast this total menace to society. I want to like Conor McGregor. Dude has guts. I like these short abbreviated sentences. Thanks, Sean, for writing at a second grade level. He doesn't duck or dodge any challenge in the ring. A few years ago, he was surviving week to week off of welfare checks. This August, in what could be the most viewed, highest grossing pay-per-view fight of all time, he will reportedly take home over $100 million in a boxing match against Floyd Mayweather, who has his own problems with bigotry and abuse towards women. Everybody's a bigot. Hey! I like how abuse towards women gets thrown in there with bigotry, not just Sean King's definition of bigotry. Mayweather and McGregor's feud was fueled in part by racism. Of course. I mean, there was a white guy and a black guy. How could it not be? Sean, that's how you see the world. It's not a surprise that your little writer biopic is in black and white. It's not surprising that this is the bullshit that you unearth every day, dividing things into black and white, hyping up racial tension. Because this is your inner turmoil, which you've never gotten over, and now we have to suffer because of it. After Mayweather complained in January 2016 that McGregor got favorable treatment because he is white, ridiculous, fucking ridiculous. Mayweather saying that? Mayweather is complaining about favorable treatment. Mayweather is a guy who owns, what, $1 billion? Oh! McGregor responded, "Don't ever bring my race into my success again," and wrote how Irish people have been oppressed our entire existence. Yeah, he had a full statement and he bitch slapped him for trying to race bait it. Now, Shawnee White does not understand what Ireland is and what the Irish history is. He views everything as fuck whites in America, they're all slave-owning, privileged dicks. So he doesn't understand that there are poor people in Ireland. And his race, trying to say that, oh, Conor is what Conor is because of his race, is a fucking joke. Fighters say a lot of foolish things when promoting their matches. Nowadays, because many of the top fighters get a slice of the pay-per-view revenue, they'll say or do almost anything to get people to watch. This past weekend, boxers Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalov had a rematch. In promoting the fight, Kovalov, a white man from Russia, posted a since-deleted video to social media mocking Ward, a black man from the Bay Area of California, in which Kovalev repeatedly uses the N-word and other slurs, pretending to be Ward. Except Ward is a devout Christian and about as upstanding a man as you'll find in the sport. It wasn't Kovalev's first time resorting to racism in promoting a fight. In 2015, Kovalev posted racist tweets online, comparing his opponent, Adonis Stevenson, a black man, to a gorilla. Wait, was it an albino gorilla? Because then it would be more like a white guy. But, oh, regular gorilla? Oh, okay. While Kovalev has faced criticism for his comments, I'm not sure any fighter, in boxing or MMA, has been a more consistent, flagrant bigot and been given as much of a free pass as Conor McGregor. See, I don't think McGregor's faking his bigotry come fight time. I think it's most likely a reflection of who he truly is. Oh, this guy is upset. Leading up to his 2015 match against Brazilian fighter Jose Aldo. Unbelievable. So he picks the fight where Conor McGregor's taking on a Brazilian. Interesting. So you're not going to highlight the trash talk he did with any of the white fighters that he went up against. Not going to look at the beef between him and fighters from Northern Ireland or him and fighters from England. Oh, interesting. You got a little bit on edge when you talk shit to a brown guy? Right, so Brazilian fighter Jose Aldo, McGregor repeatedly resorted to disgustingly bigoted attacks. And there's that B word again. And oh, he wields it with such grace and authority, does he not? In a reference to colonialism, McGregor said, if this was a different time, I would invade his favela on horseback and kill anyone that was not fit to work. Yeah, McGregor later said, what I really want to do is turn his favela into a Reebok sweatshop. McGregor also said of Aldo, in an apparent joke targeting Latinos, I think I'm going to have him come and clean up my airplane. Yeah, and he's telling jokes about how he's going to beat this guy up. That's not the end of it. He said a million other things to Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo Jr. He said, I'm Jose Aldo Sr. I'm his daddy. He called him a pussy to his face in Brazilian.
Otário, otário! Otário, otário! You know what that means? Pussy.
You want to see trash talk? This is a master at work. And it has nothing to do with the fact that he's Brazilian. And just imagine that. How the fuck do you get a fuck whites and fuck Conor McGregor out of this? You're worried about colonialism? So him riding into his favela on horseback, and Jose Aldo does come from a favela. So are you just weirded out that there are favelas in the world? Like, there are favelas in Brazil. Sorry. Yeah, he's not literally going to come in on horseback and kill everybody not fit to work. He was being hyperbolic. He was being amusing. He was trash talking. And yet you take that all seriously? So let me get this straight. A half-white chump from America is worried that an Irishman is talking shit to a Brazilian. And you're turning this into a race war. Oh my God. Well, it's amazing that you didn't do more research and find out what he said to Dennis Seaver, the veteran kickboxer and MMA fighter who fought Conor McGregor. Now, Dennis Seaver is, I think he's Russian, but he lives in Germany, and Conor McGregor called him a midget Nazi. Any problems there? No? Nothing? How about all the insults Conor McGregor takes at the expense of being Irish? People call him, oh, you little leprechaun, this and that. Are those words allowed? Is it bigoted? Can the white man take it? Can the Irishman take those sort of jabs? How about what he said to Dustin Poirier? Funny that you didn't include that. Well, I see the problem is I'm seeing what you're not showing. And that is the mindset of a chess player, I guess. You make a move, I'm not even looking at the move you made, I'm looking at the move you're gonna make. I'm looking at the thing you're not showing me. Dustin Poirier, he called him a peahead. He insulted his heritage. He comes from the South. He said he came from some backwater hick place. And he's right.
His weakness is obviously his chin. You know, look, don't get me wrong, I like the kid. He's a quiet little hillbilly from the back ass of nowhere. You know, I've nothing against the guy, you know what I mean? I'm sure he grew up in a circus or a fair, you know, he's a nice little kid. So, Cletus, or, you know, his cousin's probably named Cletus or something. I don't know, he's a nice kid. But his chin is gonna be cracked, and it's gonna be cracked early.
And then he said he's a sellout because he left that place to live somewhere else. Oh, but it was a white-on-white trash talk, so I guess it wasn't that offensive. You weren't offended. You didn't get triggered because favelas, because colonialism. How about what he said to Chad Mendes, who is, you know, white. I'm sure he's got some, you know, Mendez, whatever that is. There was a little back and forth between the two, and Conor said he would rest his balls on top of the man's forehead.
Do you have a message for Conor?
Yeah, I mean, here's my outlook on him. First off, Conor, how tall are you, buddy?
5'9".
All right, I'm 5'6".
You're 5'4" at least.
3 inches taller than me, buddy.
5'4" at least. You should stand up because we can barely see you on the screen.
Yeah, all right. This is the way I look at Conor. Conor, when I look at Conor's a big talker. Conor's brought so much attention to this division, so much attention to the UFC recently. He talked his way all the way up to the top. When I look at Conor, I see dollar signs in my bank account. You know, Conor, I match up horrible for this guy. Conor, do you know what wrestling is?
I can rest my balls on your forehead.
Yeah, I know. So when I look...
Offensive? Not worthy of making the article? Nah. White on white. White on white doesn't, what's the point? These white people can take care of themselves. Any one of those comments should have been enough for every mainstream company he works with to drop his endorsements. Oh God. What a pathetic attempt to try to get at this guy's money. Good luck with that. Being a fighter is not a license for bigotry without consequence. Here come those social justice warriors, yeah. McGregor started his bigoted tirades right back up again in his lead-ups to his fights against Nate Diaz. In August 2016, using an old slur against Latinos, he called Nick and Nate Diaz cockroaches. What? Did he? He called them cholos, because they are. He also used tired, bigoted stereotypes comparing Nate Diaz to a little cholo gangster from the hood and calling his family essays. What the fuck? You clearly don't know Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz didn't even take offense to that. He took that as a compliment. If there is such a thing as being a little cholo gangster from the hood, then it's Nate Diaz. He is a little cholo gangster. He goes around talking like a gangster. He has like a speaking vocabulary of 10 words. Now that he got a big payday because he got to fight Conor, he spends his days and years going to pot conventions. He's consistently high, and he throws up middle fingers, and he brags about how tough he is, and he flares up his chest on his little skinny ass body. And do you want to know what Conor McGregor's reaction is to this type of race baiting?
I don't give a fuck either. I don't give a fuck either. I honestly I like Nick's little bro, you know what I mean? How can you not like him? He's like a little cholo gangster from the hood. At the same time he coaches jiu-jitsu on a Sunday morning and goes on bike rides with the elderly. He makes gun signs with the right hand and animal balloons with the left hand. You're playing to the community. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Hi man, I'm from TMZ.
How are you?
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Hey, so you think your opponents are running scared? This is the second time in a row now this has happened.
What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, well there you go. So do
I. You called them a cholo in there. That's kind of racially motivated. Did you mean to say it like that?
Mate, shut the fuck up and get away from me. You're remember that Jesus shit you brought up?
Yeah.
It's such a question, man.
There's a question people want to know, man.
You're an idiot.
And that's another thing I like. Sean King is only offended when you bring up the fact, you don't have to bring it up. Just be talking to a guy of color. And then he's offended at anything you say. So that line about the favela or the gangster cholo, that's what offends him. But he isn't offended by, hey, let me put my balls on your forehead. Or hey, Jose Aldo, you're a pussy. Or when he's talking to Eddie Alvarez at a press conference at Madison Square Garden, and Eddie Alvarez is like,
no, I came for an apology from him. I want an apology for saying my wife and kids.
And he looks to him and he goes,
suck these big Irish balls. Hey.
Suck these big Irish balls. So you have no problem with that. That's just gamesmanship. That's fair play. But apparently if he had said, hey, Eddie Alvarez, man of Spanish descent, or whatever the fuck Hispanic descent you are from, suck my big Irish balls. That apparently is more offensive. Like, what the hell? How weak could you be? Nothing better than talking about men who fight in cages and policing their speech. Nothing comes across quite as manly as that, Sean.
I want an apology for saying my wife and kids. Suck these big Irish balls. I'm a fucking pimp. Big Irish balls. Rocking Gucci Mick. Big Irish balls. Big Irish balls. Big Irish balls. Big Irish balls. Suck these big Irish balls.
Your big ball sack.
Suck these big Irish balls.
My big ball sack.
Suck these big Irish balls.
Your big ball sack.
Suck these big Irish balls.
My big ball sack.
So basically, you've got to walk on eggshells because Nate Diaz is a Mexican, and Sean King is offended because apparently he's telling us that Nate Diaz is a Rhodes Scholar and isn't a cholo gangster. That's what he is. My best guess is that McGregor will do the same thing ahead of his fight against Mayweather. He can't seem to help himself. Yeah, right. They're going to be like, Conor, how do you plan on fighting such an experienced boxer? What kind of strategy will you use to help you win this fight? Floyd Mayweather is a Nick. Yeah, let's wait and see if that's going to be his approach. What's sad is none of that is remotely necessary for him. McGregor would be huge without it. Oh, would he? Would he? Why has nobody else done what he's done? His brand of trash talk is so damn entertaining, so whimsical, so off the cuff, so original that it's exactly the thing that led him to where he is. You don't fight your way into a fight worth $500 million. You talk your way into it. It's precisely the thing that you're bitching about that is why he is as successful as he is. In a day and age, oh God, in a world where we need principled people. Oh, like you, Sean, like you. You should have named it King. King says, Sean King is principled. Oh, Sean, thank you so much. You've done such a great thing for the world today, Sean. God, you're a fucking pussy. We need principled people to speak out on racism, bigotry, and discrimination. Conor McGregor does the exact opposite, instead mainstreaming those things without consequence. Fucking absurd. He should be sued for libel, and he should be ostracized and mocked and shamed and fired. Fuck Sean King. Oh my God, what a ridiculous joke. And I leave you now with more of the brilliant, otherworldly trash talk from Conor McGregor, who is an equal opportunity trash talker and will rip into someone regardless of race. Hashtag equality, hashtag suck these big Irish balls.
Take a look around you. You got a lot of champions, a lot of grizzled vets. Who do you think would give you the hardest fight out of anybody on stage?
Right here. Right here, the hardest hitting 145 pound, the real hardest hitting 145er, right here. This guy TKOs people. When I knock people out, they don't fucking move. They're not. Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
They want you to give us a quick count to 10, both of you gentlemen, if you don't mind, just if you wouldn't mind counting to 10.
Nate can only count to 5. Okay.
I've ridiculed everyone on the roster. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
UFC lightweight champ Eddie Alvarez.
That's 2 words, you baldy bitch. Your little gazelle friends are going to be staring through the cage, looking at you, getting your carcass getting eaten alive.
You will keep the featherweight belt up until this fight.
I'm gonna wrap one on one shoulder, I'm gonna wrap the other on the other shoulder, and you're gonna need a fucking army to come take them belts off me.
Count to 5, mate, will you, if you can? Hurry up with that coffee. And hurry up with that coffee.
Say it like a fucking is.
You were the easiest opponent that made the most money. That's the truth.
Come prove it.
You were my easiest opponent that made the most money. That's why you were picked.
I could buy and sell you a whole fucking town. I could buy and sell you a whole bum town. Come fucking prove it.
While you were on your way here, Eddie said he was disappointed in the country of Ireland. What do you think about that?
Don't give a what Eddie says. Who gives a The Irish are back. We've taken back control of New York City. I run New York City.
Let's get on here louder.
How does this all feel to you?
Where the f is my second belt? I have nothing against Edward. Oh what? Oh what? What you gonna do? Oh what? You gonna do something over there? Shut your fucking mouth. I run New York. I run this whole shit. Mystic Mac predicts what you gonna KO you inside 1 round. You gonna do something over there? Shut your fucking.
Trying to talk to me. Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Way out in the water, see it swimming.
No, I came for an apology from him. I want an apology for saying my wife and kids.
Suck these big Irish balls.
With your feet.
And Eddie Alvarez has been there before. Oh, wow. Really?
You apologize to me.
These big Irish balls all in your face.
There's nothing in you. Ask yourself, where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind?
Okay, so I'm doing a walk and talk. I am in the streets of London, walking around, much like Jack the Ripper, only I don't kill prostitutes. Aside from that, virtually the same. Going to the gym, but I want to talk about Conor McGregor. Because it's in the news, it's a big deal, and a lot of people have asked me to comment, so I will. That bird is freaking out. What kind of mating call is that? Whatever it is, it's working on me. So, Conor McGregor is fighting Floyd Mayweather. What are my thoughts? Well, we can talk about the fight, we can talk about the logistics of how each man can win, but really it is a freak show, it's a circus act. We're talking about a non-professional boxer taking on a guy who is arguably the best boxer of all time, definitely of his generation. I mean, it's pound for pound type of thing, but you cannot deny the man's record. Now, his style is infuriatingly boring. Unless you're a total geek of the sweet science and you appreciate his footwork and speed and technique and, you know, mental fortitude. He has a lot of traits, but really he is as famous as he is because of his trash talk, because of his flamboyance, and all the stuff he does outside of the boxing ring, much like Conor McGregor. I mean, Conor McGregor talked his way into a payday like this, which we will get to. It is kind of crazy. I guess my overall point is that it does not matter what happens in this fight. It really doesn't matter at all. This is a win-win situation. It's actually more than that. It's say the word win 100 million times, because that's roughly how much money Conor McGregor is going to make. And Floyd will probably make a little bit more. I mean, it's going to depend upon the pay-per-view points and how well it does, I'm sure. But when all is said and done, we're talking about 100 million each. So whatever happens in this contest is of absolutely no significance. Conor McGregor is right now, what, an 11-to-1 underdog? He has no shame whatsoever in losing to this guy. If he gets one punch off, he'll be a hero. He already is a hero. The man is cashing out. He sent a tweet out the other day that said, get in, get rich, get out. And he's done that, aside from the getting out part. But he just had a kid. He's won 2 belts in the UFC. He's immortalized himself, and he's friggin' 28. He's taking on a 40-year-old man. Whenever you have a 40-year-old man competing with a 28-year-old man, it should not surprise you when the 28-year-old wins. This is just... I mean, I don't know how old you are listening to this, but I guess older people will appreciate this more because they've been through this process, but your body is not the same, and especially in a cardio thing. Now, having said that, the ironic thing is that Floyd Mayweather is the one with a cardio advantage. So boxers have cardio advantage over almost everybody, aside from triathletes. These guys are constantly running, they're constantly hitting the jump rope, they're training for 12 rounds of action, times 3 minutes each. That's a long time. Typical UFC fight is 15 minutes, 3 rounds of 5 minutes. And Conor is not known for his gas. He is not known to be able to sustain a pace. He's a great athlete, great condition, but among other great athletes, one of his weaknesses is his cardio. Now, part of that is because of the offense he puts out. And it's not like he just gasses like he's some heavyweight and just, you know, just being in the octagon makes him gas. No, he's throwing bombs and he's putting on offense. And so when you do that, there is an expenditure of energy. I mean, a lot of times you'll see a guy blow his load and go for the kill and not get it. And then it's like, uh-oh, because his gas tank is empty. So in this match against Floyd Mayweather, I mean, let's first of all acknowledge that if it were a MMA match, Floyd Mayweather would get annihilated. He would be destroyed instantly. So there's a very specific reason they're not doing that, because it would not even be competitive. But they're gonna put on big puffy gloves and not allow any grappling or jiu-jitsu or kicking or elbows or anything like that, so that Floyd can have a chance. Common sense would dictate that, yeah, the guy who's 49-0 and has beaten every contender over the past 2 decades is going to beat a 0-0 boxer. But Conor does have huge power, and he does have nothing to lose. In fact, he's already won. I mean, the man has positioned himself, he has made himself so compelling as an athlete, as a personality, as a character. He's upset people, but he's ingratiated people. People love him. There used to be a lot of people wanting to see him fail, and now he's won those people over too. It's hard to not like this guy. And part of it is, and I think the real appeal of Conor McGregor is his fighting spirit. It's what the Irish appreciate. Irish people will love you. If you're Irish and you go out there and try and represent and show pride and show strength and show courage, they'll love you. You could lose. I've seen Irish fans lose soccer matches like 5-0 and standing ovation for their team for trying. About 20 years ago, Ireland played England national teams. They tied 1-1. They printed up t-shirts. That's how proud they were of that tie. Now, if you're from Ireland and you actually win at something, you become world famous, an international champion. Forget about it. I mean, you are going to be deified, and that's what the man has become. The Mexicans the same way. They appreciate the spirit of the fighter, the never say die mentality, which is why when Roberto Durant gave up and said no mas, people were like shocked. They're like, what? A Mexican fighter is giving up? Huh? So the reason why Conor is so compelling as an athlete is because he risked everything. If you don't know his backstory, he was an apprentice to being a plumber, hated the job, used to travel, go out to these random places and work on pipes and whatnot. He was on welfare. He had a loyal girlfriend who, loved him for who he was, but aside from that, his prospects were pretty shit. Found MMA. This is a kid, small guy, used to get picked on growing up. Became tough, became hardened in the streets of Dublin. Did not come from a good part of Dublin. By the way, I'm going to Dublin in a few days to see Ricky Gervais. But he decides, you know what, I'm not going to live this life. I want to take a chance. I'm going to risk everything. And people might laugh at me. Look, who am I? I'm not some great fighter, but I'm going to try it. And that takes a lot of courage. If you have the courage to get into a ring and in public, get into a fight with somebody for money, I mean, dude, it's pretty impressive, win, lose, or draw. But the guy starts winning. He has a goal. I'm going to become the Cage Rage champion. And he would announce it on the microphone every time out. He'd say, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to become the champion, not only of this one division, 145, I'm going to be 155. I'm going to be the 2-division champion of Cage Rage, which was the local league out there in Ireland, or I guess the UK. And he starts winning. Now he loses early on. Had a couple losses. His ground game was shit, because, if you grow up in Ireland, you're not growing up training wrestling, let alone jiu-jitsu. They have a history in boxing, but, they're way behind on the grappling arts. Until he teamed up with his coach, who eventually trained him up. His coach is a good jiu-jitsu player. But until you get those skills up to par, people are going to take you down, submit you. And that's what happened to him early on. So he comes back from those losses. Oh, what are you doing? You're trying to be a fighter? Like, what are you doing with your life? You're on welfare. You're nothing. You have no money. You have no future. He says, no, I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. I don't care what you say. And he would talk about it in the forums. He would post this. He'd say, I'm the future, he'd say. Watch. Remember my name. He told that to Bruce Buffer. He went to see UFC, like some early UFC, I think they went out to Ireland, or maybe it was England, and he basically called his shot. So he wins the championship in Cage Rage, against all odds. The guy's knocking people out, the guy has the touch of death, and he is talking trash. Now, in Ireland, his brand of trash talk, it's kind of the same as everybody else. I mean, they love him because he's one of them, but it's not that out of the ordinary. His bravado, his swagger is kind of like a lot of other Dublinites. Dublinians. It's like that fat, bearded truther dude, Carl Snorgon of Borkod. People are like, ooh, I like the way his voice sounds. He has an accent. Well, everybody in Swindon has that accent, so it's not a big deal. Now he's just some Le Pen, Trump-supporting truther with an accent. Congrats. So winning that local circuit out there wasn't enough for him. His goal was to become a UFC champion. And that was early on. He would state that in interview after interview. And he gets his shot in the UFC, and he's an underdog. First fight out, he's taking on a guy who did really well on The Ultimate Fighter, the TV show. And he came out, I mean, he barely had any money, had no sponsors. He came out with the Irish flag. Everybody else is putting up sponsors. He's got the Irish flag. And he wins his fight in spectacular fashion. Knocks the guy out. Knocks him clean out. Uppercuts, just devastating. Bloodied him. It was crazy. Next fight, takes on Max Holloway. Max Holloway is an incredible fighter. Max Holloway, after losing to Conor McGregor, won his next 9 fights and is now the champion at that weight division. Just beat Jose Aldo. Just beat Anthony Pettis. I mean, this guy is a great fighter. Now, true, he caught him pretty young, but so was Conor. Conor was very young at the time as well. During that fight, he blows out his ACL. Major injury to his knee. Career ending. But with modern technology He gets reconstructive surgery, takes a year off, and that was right when the hype train was building up for him. And people were like, oh, that's a shame because he had some flair and he was kind of funny because he looks like a leprechaun and he talks shit. And he had a pretty good punch, so he was a colorful character. But he has no ground game, so he's probably going to end up getting tapped out, and it's not going to amount to much, but it was fun while it lasted. Takes the year off, he comes back, I forget the order, but he takes on this little German guy, actually a good veteran, good kickboxer. Calls him a little midget Nazi, had to apologize for it. He beats his ass. He beats his ass, but people say, oh yeah, but you can beat him, but he's an older fighter, he's not top 10. You can't beat a wrestler. You can't beat somebody who has a name. Next thing, he headlines a show in Dublin. God, could there be more cars and noise in this fucking city? Headlines the show against a guy who had made it to the finals of The Ultimate Fighter. Brazilian guy, big puncher. And he beats his ass and he makes him crumble. He's hailed as a national hero. People say, yeah, but you're not going to beat the top guys in the division. You can't beat a wrestler. He gets a shot against a top 10 guy, top 5 guy, Dustin Poirier, an established winner in the UFC. And he knocks him clean out. And then finally he's going to get his shot against Jose Aldo, the champion, the guy who's not lost in decades. Apparently nobody told Conor that he's not supposed to be doing all this. He's supposed to have huge defensive liabilities. He's supposed to be inexperienced. He's not supposed to have the quality of the opponents that he's going up against. Jose pulls out due to injury. Chad Mendes comes in. Chad Mendes is team alpha male, all-American wrestler, total stud, has been dropping people in the division. And he takes the fight on short notice, goes into Vegas, gets taken down the first round, gets bloodied, slashing elbow from the top by Chad Mendes, whom the Brazilians refer to as Chad Mange. Chad Mange. Chad Mange. But in the second round, he gets up, he